Hello dear listeners, and welcome to the end of Series 1 with this bonus 2025 wrap-up episode. Nate and I have a chat about the year that was. We talk about our favourite films of the year, our biggest surprises and our biggest disappointments. There's plenty to get through, so let's get onto it, and thank you for joining me on this journey for our first year of Flicks Through Time. Plenty more to come in 2026. Please stay tuned, and spoilers ahead. Hello, Nate. Welcome back once again.
And again, it's like I never left.
Yes. I was going to comment on that. You have gone home, haven't you, at some point?
I just wander the streets.
Aimlessly waiting for a podcast to join.
Yeah, just knock on doors and like, can I guest on your show? And most people are like, nah, thanks.
Yeah. I mean, most houses are running.
They're running a podcast out of the basement, a bootleg sportscast or something like that.
Yeah, naturally. What else would you do with your time?
Yeah.
I'm officially classifying this as a bonus episode just because it's not following the regular format, which means technically Series 1 is over.
Oh, and congratulations.
Yay, we got there. And as an interesting side note, Sam was the first and final. So he bookended the series.
That bookends well.
Yeah, okay. Kind of nice, because this is not really the format for this episode. That's why I'm calling it a bonus. What is the format, Nate? What are we doing today?
We are going to talk about the year of 2025, the year of our Lord 2025 in retrospect, and things that we have enjoyed from this year, pleasant surprises and unpleasant surprises.
Yes, most disappointing, which was a nice trilogy. That was your, I don't know if gimmick's the right word, that was your idea, which I thought was pretty good, rather than just doing
it a gimmick. Gimmick is just a good idea with marketing.
That's right. And we're obviously very successful at marketing here. You can tell by the viewership.
The numbers don't lie.
Right. So I guess we could just dive right in. I mean, 2025.
What was the first movie you saw in 2025?
Nosferatu.
That was mine too.
Because that was I mean, technically it's a 2024 film, but it was functionally 2025.
Yeah, because it was like in the Boxing Day maybe,
I think
late December.
Yeah.
I didn't get to see it until January 4th.
Yeah, I saw it, I think even a week or so after that, from memory.
Yeah.
So that was my first. That was a pretty good start to the year. And broadly speaking, I'd say pretty positive year.
I think so. I've enjoyed a lot of movies this year. I think I saw more movies than I have in previous years. I went to the cinema more than I have in the last few years and felt compelled to go.
They're drawing you in. Yeah, I mean, this might be just because I'm I'm doing a podcast about movies, so I'm looking more. But it does feel like the last couple of years, I've got to remind myself, 2023, when Oppenheimer and Barbie came out, that was 23. That's practically 1,000 years ago. I feel like that was just last year. That was July. It was 2.5 years ago. That's blowing my mind. But I feel like more or less 23 onwards, we've just had some really interesting, not just good films, interesting films coming out that are getting some mainstream attention, like Nosferatu, for example.
Yeah.
And Oppenheimer, on paper, shouldn't be a major blockbuster. It was.
Yeah. So that's very true. I would have sworn that Barbenheimer was last year, but there's a whole year. Like last year, there was a Mad Max movie. There was The Substance. I thought last year was quite thin on the ground, but 23 had been good. Yeah, this year has been the best of the three, I would say.
Yes, and again, it might just be because I've been paying more attention, so I'm not sure if that's true, but that's definitely my feeling. It's been really good, especially for horror, which we might be touching on as we go through our list.
Who knows?
Do you want to start with the best?
Yeah, let's do that, because I think that's the most boring one to talk about.
Shall we just say the name on three?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3.
It was Sinners.
Yeah. That I will say though, surprisingly, because I belatedly, thanks to influenza type A, I only recently got to see a little film called Weapons, thanks to you enabling that.
I hooked you up with that one, hey.
And any other year, that could have been my number one.
That was my second favourite movie of the year. And any other year, it would have been my favourite. I thought Weapons was not just a great horror movie, that's a great movie. It's so well written. I've realised in the last couple of years, I'm a sucker for a title card. and the way that movie uses its title cards and the way it shifts in tone when it shifts in character focus is so interesting and fun. But then that last shift to the little boy's perspective is just a gut punch.
Yeah, it was powerful.
Yeah.
And can I tell you, as a horror fan, I was going to say jaded. No, that's not true. I find it hard to find horror films that impact me.
Yeah.
Because I've seen so many. But even if they don't, I still enjoy them. So
Yeah.
not jaded. No, I still enjoy them. I was squirming in my seat during Weapons.
Yeah.
And not because, the gore. No, not that. It was... Weapons is recent, so I don't want to say... The thing about Weapons is I knew nothing going in, and that was important.
Yep.
So I'll just say that the scene when one of the characters is asleep in the car...
Yes.
That I physically moved in my seat and curled up into a ball. It was so... And that's a film where... that's a scene where easily it could have gone wrong.
Yeah.
And been silly or just not effective. And I went, oh, no.
It's so tense.
Tension is beautiful.
Yeah.
A couple of the jumps worked, which is unusual for me.
Yeah.
It felt like they were doing cliches that I've seen in well-liked but lesser films like Insidious and what's that other one that came out recently, Last Rites. I blanked on that series.
Oh, yeah, what is that? I don't know. The
Conjuring.
Yeah.
Wow, yeah. It's such an impact on me, that series.
Yeah.
It feels like it's doing the cliches from that, but it's doing it so well.
Yeah.
You notice we're not really talking about the winner here. In case you've skipped and turned 2 pages, we did an entire podcast about Sinners. Just check that out.
Yeah.
I don't think I need to say anything more about Sinners other than my thoughts are the same. To summarize it, you basically were happy to use the word masterpiece.
Yeah.
I said, I'm going to hold back because I think I need more time to let it sink in, but you're probably right, and I still feel that way. I'm not ready to use that word yet. The first 45 minutes to an hour of that is some of the best cinema I've ever seen, and the rest of it is very good, just not as great.
Yeah.
My thoughts haven't changed. So yeah, wonderful, wonderful film. Highly recommend it. But Weapons was... I'm not sure if it did a great deal new, but what it did, the pieces it put together were so interesting and so effective. And I'll even go further, because it's definitely got a bit of a Stephen King vibe to it.
Yeah.
With the kids that are under threat. Let's call it the monster, so to speak.
Yeah.
Gave me a bit of the clown from It kind of feeling.
Yeah,
like
there is a bit of...
Yeah, this could be one of those cultural movie monsters that sticks around if this gains a bit of momentum in whatever we do, these streaming or whatnot.
And there does seem to be a bit of, I don't know, implicit lore there, like with the tree and the branch that's not full, like the mechanics aren't explained, but you can tell that they are there. I
hope there's not 7 sequels to explore all this.
Yeah, I've heard that there is a planned movie that focuses on the monster.
Okay.
I don't like that. I'd rather that movie just be a standalone. But it was such a pleasant surprise. I go into Weapons knowing the concept. That's what I did, and I liked it a lot up until the final title card. And during the final title card, I fell in love. I was like, this movie it's not just a good movie. It's a movie about something. And it is about the predators in the community. Are done in a very clever way, because the movie does open with a community has identified a predator in their midst, and they're wrong.
But it's understandable. You can see why these parents are upset. And a quick note on casting. So I want to mention Julia Garner. I believe here. I'm going to mention her again shortly, but she was fantastic. And then you had Thanos.
Josh Brolin.
Yeah. I actually thought Kurt Russell a second ago, knowing that's not right, but I just had Kurt. If this was made 20 years ago, it would have been Kurt Russell playing that role.
For sure.
He was an executive producer, and he was brought in late, apparently. So I think that might have been one of those, please be in our movie, we'll make you a producer deals.
My understanding is that Weapons was subject to an intense bidding war.
I've heard of this.
The script was recognised as being something pretty special for a while.
Wasn't it Blumhouse tried to get it?
Yeah, and Jordan Peele wanted to produce it as well. Peele, so I think his is Monkey Paw. But there were a few of those boutique horror studios that wanted to get involved with Weapons and Zach Cregger after his previous film Barbarian, which was good, but this is different. This is a real, like Sinners, I think this is a declaration of a presence in filmmaking. Yeah,
it was definitely, and I really want to see Barbarian as well. Feels like it will be a step backwards a little in some ways.
Yeah,
but I'm still
it's more modest in ambition, whereas Weapons is, I think that it's the movie that he's wanted to make.
Yes, yeah. And I want to say he's moving on to make a Resident Evil remake.
Yeah, he signed up. He's doing the next Resident Evil.
Yeah, so this might be his one for you, one for me thing.
Yeah,
maybe?
it could be.
I'm not sure.
He's getting that bag.
Yeah, and why not? Good on him. I don't have any opinion on Resident Evil, but sure, give it a crack. Get involved in a franchise. Why not?
Yeah.
Maybe they'll finally make one good Resident Evil movie.
I mean, that'd be nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They've only made 10. I don't know.
Who knows how many? Yeah. Yeah. They're landfill movies.
They are.
They're interchangeable.
They are.
Yeah.
So I guess I don't think, because this is not a deep dive into Weapons, I could say much more, but I think that's enough of a summary to say.
We're like, best movie of the year is Sinners, but Weapons.
But Weapons, yeah.
So I what I admire about Weapons is that I can see that this script took a lot of work to come together.
To make all the pieces work.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know it changed perspectives.
Yeah.
And you know what I loved about it? I love the idea that when you see it you'll see the same scene play out from different perspectives, but it'll be, if it's from character A, then you'll see it from, the camera will be behind her head.
Yeah.
But then it'll switch to character B and you'll see the same scene played again, but the character will be behind his head and stuff like that. That's not just, we'll do that just because. There's a lot of, the character is introduced and they're walking into the liquor store or something like that, and cameras directly behind them. So there's a lot of the cameras following the person.
Yeah.
There's a lot of thought put into it.
And the sequence of the stories is very deliberate.
Yeah.
It only reveals as much as it needs to, and then it jumps to the next character.
Yeah.
It reveals a little bit more every time, but not enough to be satisfying. It leaves that to the very last story.
Yeah.
Where it delivers everything at once. Yeah. And it is. Yeah.
That either the ending either works for you or it doesn't. It certainly worked for me. I think generally it's been a thumbs up.
Yeah.
But, what I liked about it is, for example, I can't remember the character's name, but the police officer comes across pretty good and sympathetic, and you think, this thing
he's
seemed
a bit of
But then you see more and more and realize,
it's that. I love that. I love the way the characters are viewed by the other storytellers.
So it's not unreliable narration, it's just incomplete.
Yeah.
And then you get more pieces and go, he was actually a bit of a tool.
Yeah, this guy sucks.
Yeah.
And he's bad to the people around him, and he's it's such a good movie.
Yeah.
But I can see that script took so much polish to get right. Whereas I can't see that in Sinners. I don't understand where Sinners starts and stops as a concept. Like, that seems like it just is.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Where are the seams? It's just it must have arrived whole cloth in I'm spacing on the director's name now. That's no good. Ryan Coogler. It must have arrived as a fully formed idea in his mind.
Sounds like it.
Yeah.
But there's no way that happened with Weapons.
No, I think Weapons is it's kind of Baroque almost. Yeah.
And I will say, this only just popped back in my head, I kept thinking to myself, but I've seen Weapons. Would I want to see it again? Is it the kind of film that I want to revisit? And I'm not sure. I need to let this sit and bubble, right? And I can say now, as I come back to that question, absolutely, that's something I want on my shelf and I want to revisit, because the craft of it is so good.
Yeah.
And just being there, as you say, that's such a complex script, and because I think you and I are the same. We can be watching a film and we can enjoy and intellectualize to an extent the craft whilst still engaging with the film. So there's a lot of layers there if you're willing to do that.
I think it would be like a couple of decades ago now. I realized like I don't particularly care about spoilers. I can know what's going to happen in a movie and still really like the movie when I see it, because like I've never really felt shocked or surprised or anything by plot development. I'm always impressed or unimpressed by the execution.
Okay.
And I think that, I've explained that to other people and they're like, oh, that's miserable. You've taken the joy out of movies, and I don't think that's the case.
You remind me of the character from When Harry Met Sally, and Harry says he always reads the last page of a novel before reading. Everyone goes, "You're mad."
Yeah.
No, because then all the pretensions are out of the way, and I can just enjoy what's in front of me.
Enjoy the road getting there. And I think that it's a little bit like that. It's like I think I enjoy the craft of storytelling more than I don't disappear into stories anymore. Yeah, I still do, and therefore don't want the spoilers. But the fact that I can so readily revisit films says that I've got one foot either side. Yeah, you've got some of that critical analysis, and it just means that there's more to enjoy in films as a result, which is nice. So we've thoroughly discussed Sinners, our favourite movie of the year, Sinners. Would you like to go with disappointment or surprise first? I think let's go next least interesting. I think is the most pleasant surprise, because I think there's more to say about disappointing movies. I mean, but I don't know what your pick for most pleasant surprise is. I've held back. Yeah, and I don't know what your most disappointing movie of the year is. I suspect you know mine. I got thoughts on it, and I've been vocal about it. Okay, so would you like to go first then? Sure. So my most pleasant surprise of the year was Superman. Oh yes, that's right. Yeah, you've got ample to say. I did actually get around to watching it. You did? I did see it last week or 2 weeks ago, I think. For my context is, I have such Marvel burnout. I am so sick of Marvel and trying to keep up to date with that universe. I don't think they've made an interesting movie. No, their strike rate is just so weak post the natural exit ramp of Avengers Endgame. And so I'm ready to say goodbye to superhero movies. But Superman is something special to me. It is as I mentioned in the Predator episode, I feel like in 2025 we are starting to get some cultural critique of manosphere and the role that masculinity has in contemporary society and how that is interpreted by different people. And I appreciate, because Superman is inherently political and he's also inherently he's the apex of masculine identity. How could a man that looks like the American flag be remotely political now? I don't understand this concept. It's a stretch, hey. Yeah, don't put politics in my superhero movie. Yeah. But that this Superman is he's fallible. He's not perfect. He is very naive. But he has such a big heart, and he just wants to help people. What I liked about it is the idea that you have the optimism of Christopher Reeve's Superman, but you put him in a modern setting. Yeah. And a comment from somebody else was like, why is it so complicated? Why can't it be just that thing? And it's like, because now life is complicated. Yeah. And I think if I can just mention a couple of brief things, because I know you've got more to say about it. Yeah, please. As far as just a functional film without digging through the layers, I love that we saw him injured from the beginning. Yeah, that's a great introduction to Superman. Because he's boring otherwise. Yep. So that was really important. Yep. I think most of the time the tone was pretty good, as in it's a little bit fun. Yeah, but I think there's a couple of times where they did where James Gunn went a little bit Joss Whedon, where you go serious moment, but then the dog does something silly. Yeah, just a silly thing during a serious moment. They won't expect that. That's the Joss Whedon template, which I want to burn with a big bonfire. Yeah, it's terrible. It's a plague on modern films. Yeah, it is. Yeah. So, but they don't do it too often. So examples of the humour that did work for me
was the Green Lantern was quite humorous.
Yes,
I liked him.
yeah.
My favourite scene is when he's sitting down in Lois's apartment, feeling quite sorry for himself, and then I couldn't see something's happening in the background. I couldn't
there's
make it out.
like
a giant space something.
Yeah, it's like an imp.
Imp, yeah, space
something
imp,
like that.
And the Justice Force or whatever are fighting it, and she's like, "Do you need to handle that?" He's like, "It's just a space imp."
Yeah.
And you can see the Green Lantern going bonk, 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 hitting it. And it's so, he's got the scale right. James Gunn's got the scale right. You can see it moving slowly, even though it's small. And this is why that scene's good. Anywhere else, you would have just chucked that in there. But they set up who the Justice Team were, or whatever they were called. We know who they are. We understand that they kind of work together. There were so many things that Gunn had to set up to make that gag work, yet still keep the seriousness, and so it didn't detract from the seriousness of the scene.
I was having a conversation with a friend recently. Like, that scene, there's very little wasted energy in that movie. It reminds me a lot of like Back to the Future in that way, where there's all these parts that need to be there. But they need to be there for, like, it's not just plot, it's also like character arc and development and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
And there is that scene where we learn more about Superman's relationship with Krypto, the dog that's gone missing. And Krypto is a sort of an analog for Superman's relationship with Earth and people. Like, we are poorly disciplined and we misbehave and we create trouble, but like, we are out there on our own and someone needs to look up. And that's where Superman sees himself, is that, like, I don't necessarily agree with everything they do, but I need to look out for them.
Yeah. I think a lot of the basics worked. And I did hear, it's a bit too bloated, a bit too much in it. And I'm the person who hates that you go, here's a Spider-Man movie, yet there's 25 minutes of Iron Man in it.
Yeah.
I hate that Captain America 3, Civil War, had more Iron Man in it than Captain America. I hate that Thor 4 had 6 of the Avengers or characters in it. So that's me. But I still watched Superman and went, no, that was okay. It didn't feel bloated to me, which was
Superman's movie.
Pretty impressive.
And it tells it does tell a story with a lot of moving parts.
Yes.
But it is a story, and there are so many big risks that it takes, and I think the biggest risk is messing around with Superman's origin a little bit. But it pays off enormously, because it is a story of, Superman rejecting his heritage because he wants to be human.
Yeah, that monologue he gives to Lex at the end is
and you get that beautiful scene with his dad, where his dad and the representation, like Martin Parr Kent in that movie, are so brutally human. Like, they are unhealthy looking, and they are living in such modest means, but they adore their son so much.
Yeah, I got to be honest, that was one of the most beautiful things I've seen, and the casting was perfect, because they don't look like actors. I don't know how to say it.
It's not Diane. Was it Diane Keaton? No, Diane Wiest. One of the Dianes. Who was the most, and Kevin Costner.
Oh yeah,
just older Hollywood actors.
Yeah. And that's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
And here it literally looks like they saw 2 people walking down the street. Yeah. And they said, we're not actors, but we want you to do this.
Yeah.
Which I think is a compliment, A, to the casting, and B, the acting.
Yeah.
But especially the father, seeing how affectionate he was towards his son.
Yeah.
And you see the photos. That was beautiful. That was one of the most, in a Superman movie of all things, one of the most beautiful.
And the genuine affection that Superman has for his parents.
Yeah.
He doesn't see them as like, they're not his origins. They weren't his caretakers or anything like that. He loves them. He adores them, and he wants them to be proud of him. Yeah. It gets so much right. And because it's Superman, it's so important that it gets that stuff right, because it occupies such an important space in our cultural landscape. And to be honest, I've never related more to a superhero. And I mean, that's not ego service. I do get upset when animals are hurt. And I do want everybody in my community to be safe and happy. Whereas superhero movies, it tends to be about like picking a side and then punishing the other side. And which I don't enjoy or relate to as a story concept. Superman doesn't do that. And I found that so refreshing and liberating as someone who was burnt out on that genre entirely
I think I've made it pretty clear that, well, blockbusters in general, but it's the superhero movies, said it before, I'll say it again, the first Avengers is when I checked out, and that was a while ago.
Yeah. That's 13 years ago?
Yeah, oh, God.
Maybe, about that.
I think you might be right. Ugh. And the fact that, so I definitely don't hold it as high regard as you do, but the fact that absolutely, thumbs up, great film. I'm actually interested to see what James Gunn does next.
Yeah, I think he's a good filmmaker, and he's good at that scale, which... I mean, the Guardians of the Galaxy movies are good movies.
Yes.
They're Marvel movies by coincidence, but they're also just good movies.
Yeah, he's the right person in the right place.
Yeah.
Which is funny because you look at... I know we said we weren't going to broaden these things out to context, but it's important to remember you've got the soulless Disney machine that puts a director in which harkens back to early Hollywood where directors were incidental.
Yeah.
And it was CEOs and heads of production, so to speak, who made creative decisions, and the director was just there to make sure the camera's pointed in the right place.
Yeah.
That's Marvel. Not all the Marvel films, but that's it.
Yeah.
On the other side, Warner Brothers were like, no, we're going to put Zack Snyder in charge. We're going to have one person there. I think that's good in principle.
Unless you pick
you pick Zack Snyder.
Yeah, that's it.
And so the fact, when they said James Gunn, I went, oh yeah, absolutely.
That makes all the sense in the world. He makes good movies.
Yeah, and
whereas Zack Snyder doesn't. When did he?
Watchmen.
He made a faithful adaptation of Watchmen.
Yep.
But maybe it was too faithful.
Yeah.
Stylized in weird ways.
Yeah.
I made the characters too sexy again. They're meant to be like middle-aged superheroes, a little bit pathetic and sad, particularly Night Owl. But point being, there wasn't. Well, okay. Then again, you got Peter Jackson, who did Lord of the Rings, and he didn't have a lot of credentials before him either. So they had a go. Good on them. But anyway, so colour me intrigued. But it sounds like this film's really impacted you. Yeah, I went to see it. I went to see it by myself. I like going to the movies by myself. It's an alpha move. No, if a movie's there's no way in the world I'm convincing. I took my girlfriend to go see Thunderbolts, and it was kind of like she would take me to a movie and then I'd take her to a movie. Thunderbolts broke that. She doesn't go to movies with me anymore. I liked Thunderbolts. She had no time for it. But then, so I took my dad. I went to see Superman by myself, and then I was like, I need to take my dad to this movie.
That's nice.
And so, took dad to see Superman, and he loved it as well. And that was a very, bonding over, because I think he grew up with the 78 Superman, and there's a lot of that spirit in this, that optimism, and Superman is a rally cry. He's a symbol. He's inspiring people to be their best and do the right thing and look out for each other, which we haven't had in Superman. We haven't had in movies, in superhero movies. Captain America sometimes does it, but he's kind of laden with having to be a commentary on American politics, whereas Superman is just personal politics. Although there certainly was some war stuff there. But there is. And it's good the way it handles that, but it's more a commentary on you need to do the right thing. Everybody needs to do the right thing for the sake of each other.
And according to this, the right thing is to get on the internet and get very, very angry. I think there seems to be a lot of that. But I've been pretty good at outright ignoring a great deal
good. So, what is your most pleasant surprise of the filming year?
I do believe, like Nosferatu, I think it was late last year, but I only saw it this year, so I'm counting it.
Yeah.
Francis Ford Coppola's Megalopolis.
That's crazy. I remember you telling me about that you'd watched this.
This won't take long to say why, because there's no point breaking it down. I listened to, again, a big fan of the podcast over on Second Wind, and you had Jack Packard and Darren Mooney, probably my favourite film person online.
Yeah.
They talked about it for 45 minutes, and I still went, I have no idea what you're talking about. Talking about the movie doesn't help explain it. I'll just point out a few
tried to
key
explain
things.
it to me, and it sounded like you were describing a fever dream.
That's actually probably about it. Yeah, let's move on. That was a fever dream.
I
I guess the way I'll frame it is this.
Okay.
This is what I heard. I heard 20 years from now, we're either going to be saying it was an underappreciated masterpiece, or it genuinely was red hot garbage. And it's absolutely split audiences.
Yes. But
the majority are saying red hot garbage.
Yes.
So I went in there thinking, this is what happens if you give Tommy Wiseau $120 million to make a movie.
Yep.
Because Tommy Wiseau's The Room has not one speck of redeeming quality or technical craft or anything. There's nothing in it, and it's full of what the hell were you thinking moments.
It's top to it is only ever enjoyed ironically.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I was expecting that from Megalopolis.
Okay.
And here's the weird part: there are moments where it hits that, but the vast majority of it is at least interesting filmmaking, if not good filmmaking.
So when you say there are moments that it hits, are there moments where there's incompetence on display?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh.
But not a lot of it. And so I was expecting. So this is why, will it be an underappreciated masterpiece? Oh, that's a stretch. But it's 2.5 hours, and I didn't move from the couch. I could not take my eyes off the screen.
Okay.
And there's very few films that have that impact on me. But I'll give you an example see if I can think of just one example of incompetence and one example of the effective nature of it.
Yeah.
First of all, Adam Driver is absolutely phenomenal. He was so good in this movie.
Yeah.
Very well cast. He seemed to be the only one who understood what the hell was going on.
Okay.
Everyone else just seems to be doing their wacky caricature of whatever it is they're doing. He was fantastic in it. So clearly he's very good and he's been well directed.
Yeah.
So he just works really well.
Okay.
And a lot of the visuals work very well because it is futuristic. There's some sci-fi.
Yeah, it's got in advertising and in trailers, and it seems to be very retrofuturism by way of Art Deco.
Yes. Perfect. Yep.
Everything seems to be green screen.
Yep.
So it does look a lot like Sky Captain or the Star Wars prequels. Way too much light, too many God rays, all that sort of stuff. I mean, is that the incompetence that you're talking about? Just the visual?
No, so I generally hate that stuff.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know if there was so much else happening that just didn't bother me.
Okay.
Or that it was a good version of that stuff you just referred to.
But that's how it was in the movie as well. That's not just bad.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of there are a lot of sets actually.
Okay.
So there is enough to ground it, and it's opulent Roman architecture because there's a lot of references to Rome and the United States.
So you got the Roman columns and all that.
Yeah, and there's a lot of sets that are extended with green screen. So you do feel grounded, I think, quite naturally. And there are there's plenty of scenes where there's no green screen at all, if it's like somebody's bedroom or something. So it's not like the prequels where you go, there's a set, but then there's windows all the way around with spaceships flying around and stuff like that.
Yeah,
so you do get moments where it's quite grounded. So it's not wall-to-wall green screen, but there is a heck of a lot of it. And either when it was used, it was done well, or like I said, I was just distracted or whatever or drawn in by what else was happening. So it's huge, it's operatic, it's bombastic. Even when you got someone like Shia LaBeouf being way over the top, it just fits beautifully here.
Okay.
And I'm not going to break down any of it.
Yeah.
Because there's just no point. But here's an example of what the hell. So keeping in mind this took 30 years to make. So you'd think you've had enough drafts, right? Everything should be fine.
Yeah.
You have a sequence where character is basically in a limousine or taxi or whatever, getting driven around, and she looks out and sees a police officer beating up a citizen.
Yeah.
So what is that saying? That's a heavy hand of law and order. Things are out of balance, perhaps.
Yeah, and she's safe and protected in a limo, so that there is a ruling class, or at least an aristocracy that's removed from this conflict. Like we've seen, there's shots like that in a lot of different movies.
Yep.
Yeah.
No problem at all. And some of that is on. They build a set where old mate can do punches,
get the fists in.
Great.
Yep.
She drives a little bit further. Then you see a statue of, outside courthouses where you see Lady Justice who's got the blindfold and the scales of justice, all that.
Yeah.
Quite large. And then, as in the size of a, 5 or 10 story building.
Okay.
And then it collapses using CG.
Oh, no.
Which kind of, I don't know if it looked great, but it was I wasn't expecting it to happen. So I go, that was an interesting thing.
Oh, the symbolism is rich.
Yes. And I'm going, okay, so you're driving that point home.
Yeah.
Passable.
That seems very on the nose to me.
Yes. Passable because of the execution.
Okay.
But on the nose, I agree.
Yeah.
But then she says, and I'm pretty sure this is the direct quote, injustice is rife tonight, or injustice is everywhere tonight. And I've just got, I actually groaned. I went, oh, don't say the theme out loud.
Yeah.
That is screenwriting 101.
You've already shown twice.
Yeah.
You don't need to then tell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like two characters look at each other longingly. Then they walk over and hold hands, and then one of them says, "I love you." So we got it the first time.
Mate, yeah.
Yeah. So there's at least one other
that
example.
line as well, like the way that's written, like injustice
that's Tommy
is
Wiseau.
rife tonight. That is.
So I may be slightly off with the wording, but it was very close to that. That's Tommy Wiseau not understanding how humans work.
Yeah, that's people talk that way about the weather, kind of like, oh, it's steamy tonight or it's muggy tonight, not like, oh, bloody night for injustice though, isn't it?
Yeah, and the layers of, gee, I hope the audience gets it sort of thing.
Yeah,
so it's like Francis Ford Coppola just forgot how to write, and so grown out loud terrible moments.
Yep.
Sprinkled here and there, very over the top performances, very, very obvious themes, and it's like, Rome and US, we get it. Couldn't take my eyes off this thing.
Yeah.
I genuinely and unironically love this movie.
Okay.
And I'm not saying it actually is a masterpiece. I don't know. I can't. Yeah. I want to watch this again. I want to watch this with other people to get their reactions. I just want to sit there silently for 2.5 hours just to enjoy it again and see what someone else does. And I don't know when I felt this way about a film before.
It sounds a lot like that's kind of the reaction I get out of David Lynch's stuff generally, where I'm like, I didn't understand a lot of that, and some of it seemed like it should have been cut out or it wasn't done properly, but it's compelling and unique.
Compelling and unique is good, so call it 2 thumbs up.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. How long is it?
I think it's 2.5 hours.
That's quite long.
It is, yeah, and you can tell that there was probably about 4 hours, and then he's cut it to pieces to make it fit.
Yeah, I will watch it probably in installments.
Yeah, but I thought that's what I would do, and I just could not turn it off.
Couldn't break it.
So there you go. All right. Biggest disappointment, Nate?
My biggest disappointment, it hurt because I've been a champion of this. I mean, we talk franchises a lot, you and I. I love Mission Impossible, and I have been bratish in fact, in saying Mission Impossible is, as a series, it's leagues better than James Bond. More
consistent. Speaking of strike rates.
Yeah, speaking of strike rates, I didn't make this quote up, but I love it. James Bond is Sex and the City for boys. And that is absolutely true. That is what contemporary James Bond is fashion and cars and exotic locales and women. Mm-hmm. Mission Impossible is for like purists.
Yeah.
People who just want, give me the action, give me the stunts, give me the daring do. Without all the, like, I don't need a love interest, I don't need the drama, I don't need an Adele theme song and all that marketing crap that goes along with it. Just give me Tom Cruise running down the side of the Burj Khalifa and we're good. And some of those movies are phenomenal. Yeah. Ghost Protocol is incredible.
Yeah, I think that's actually the last one I've seen. I've kind of dipped out of it, but
that's fair.
Ghost Protocol was really good.
It's a very, very good movie and very, Brad Bird as a director has some weird politics, but he knows how to direct an action movie. Like Incredibles is him, the animated. Incredibles 2 is him. But Ghost Protocol is his masterpiece. I think the way he composes action is very, very good. But even after that, we've got Rogue Nation and Fallout as well, 2 subsequent movies where they just have incredible action set pieces. And
what's the latest one?
I'm getting there. I'm weaving it.
I'm just lost track of how many there are.
Okay, so we have got Mission Impossible 1.
Yeah.
That's in the early 90s with, I can't think of the director. He's like a French. Yeah. Mission Impossible 2 is John Woo in Australia. Yep. That's pretty bad. Yep. Mission Impossible 3, there's a long time between those. That's J.J. Abrams' feature film.
Oh, that's right.
Feature film debut.
I remember that was all right.
It's pretty good. Mission Impossible 4 is Ghost Protocol. And that's where we hit the modern Mission Impossible formula where we have big set pieces, big action with Tom Cruise doing his own stunts becomes the marketing pitch.
Yes.
And the movies are marketed on their action set piece. And that's important. Put a pin in that, please.
Okay. Done.
We then have Rogue Nation.
Right. That would be the last one I've seen. So I've seen 5.
Okay. Then we have Fallout.
Right.
And then we have Dead Reckoning Part 1.
Oh, okay.
And then we have this year's release, Final Reckoning.
Okay. So there's 8 of them.
There's 8 of them. I don't think there should be. I think there should be 7. But the one we got this year.
Yep.
Okay, no, better way to start this off, this conversation. Why it's so disappointing. Rogue Nation starts with the action set piece that's on the poster for Rogue Nation is Tom Cruise holding onto the side of an aeroplane as it's taking off.
Oh, yes.
And that is the opening scene of the movie.
Very James Bond.
It is very James Bond.
Good opening scene.
But it treats the audience with respect.
Yeah.
You are here for action. Here's your action. We got what you want, you dogs. Eat it up. And it's so well done.
It is.
But then there's also great action through that movie.
Yes.
There's diving into a liquid-cooled tank, and it creates so much tension.
The tension in that is brilliant.
Yeah, and I think it was Rogue Nation is where the partnership of Tom Cruise and Christopher McQuarrie is the writer-director, I think, and he's directed every subsequent Mission Impossible movie. And it's a good partnership. Mm-hmm. Tom Cruise, I think, decides what kind of set pieces he wants to do, what stunts he wants to do, and they write the film around that.
Yes, that's the impression I get.
Which is perfect. That's all you need.
Sure.
The plot doesn't need to be good.
No.
It's just an excuse to go to these places and film these things.
Yeah.
Fallout has incredible set pieces.
Okay.
We got the free fall over Paris, which is stunning.
Okay.
There's a fight in a bathroom, which is brutal. Helicopter chase through the Himalayas. So good.
Right.
Then, I think it was a couple of years ago, we had Dead Reckoning Part 1. It might have been last year.
All right.
There's a bit of bloat there. There's only 2 really good set pieces in that one. There's a car chase and the big jump onto the Orient Express, the motorcycle jump onto the Orient Express. This most recent Mission Impossible movie, it takes a solid hour for there to be an action set piece.
I heard it's like the hour. It's even got some in case you missed the last movie moments, which given the box office might be required because the last film didn't do very well.
I have to imagine COVID killed these 2 movies.
Yes.
The most recent, so the 2 of them, as the title of the second to last one indicates, Dead Reckoning Part 1, it was meant to be a 2-part finale. They changed that in marketing because not enough people saw the first one. And I think people were turned off by the first one because reviews were pretty tepid, because I think they decided to split what should have been 1 movie into 2 movies.
Haven't we seen that happen a few times?
Yeah, but man, it capsized, like it ruins both movies.
I'm guessing that they're chunky movies. So each one's
they
2.5 hours or something.
Bloated movies.
Yeah, so you've got 5 hours, which should have been 2.5.
Yeah,
maybe 3 at a push.
And it does so much needless storytelling, trying to establish this AI omniscient, omnipresent villain, which is not interesting as a concept.
And we've seen it before.
We've seen it before, and it probably is a bad fit for Mission Impossible.
Yeah.
Where we don't, the best villain this series has had was, oh my God, Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Yeah. I was actually thinking.
Yeah, and we just need a charismatic human villain who can monologue. Yeah. Just give us that.
Also Bondian, but done well.
And a MacGuffin. Doesn't matter what the MacGuffin is, but Tom Cruise has to get it back.
Yep.
And they do that in this movie. They have the MacGuffin, but it is sold with like an hour's worth of exposition about like the threat this AI poses and how it's causing division and all this sort of stuff.
Can I ask this? I don't mean to jump in, but I think this is relevant because you're talking about the exposition. So you saw this on the big screen, right?
I did.
And at what point did you go, hang on, something's very wrong here? Was it during that exposition where you're going, wait a minute, like that first hour?
I think it was in that first hour. I remember looking at my watch thinking, they've spent an hour, like it's an hour talking about how important Tom Cruise, like Ethan Hunt is a character who, that name is not important. Most people don't know who Ethan Hunt is if you drop the name. It's not James Bond.
No.
Those movies are Tom Cruise movies.
Yeah, fans know it, but outside
but that is a character. He's not important. We don't need to know what his hobbies are. We don't need to know what his politics are. But it's an hour of everybody coming on set and saying, like, Ethan Hunt's the most important person in the world. Only he can save us now. And then someone else walks on like, yeah, I agree.
Alternatively, you just show him saving the world.
Or, show him doing an action set piece that shows how important he is, which is what you've done for the last 4 movies. It beggars belief.
For some reason, I'm getting this phrase in my mind. Show, don't tell. Don't tell. I don't know why. I just jumped in there.
And my suspicion, and if I wasn't so filled with bile, I'd look it up. I'm pretty confident COVID killed these because it is so obvious that there have been reshoots late into the production of Dead Reckoning. You've got Tremel Tillman, who is phenomenal in Severance, who has a significant part in Dead Reckoning. He would only have gotten that after Severance. So that means that there were reshoots happening in the last couple of years.
Right.
And I think it also doesn't help that one of these big set pieces is inside a submarine, and it's just hard to convey the stakes of a moving internal space when you can't also see what's going on outside.
I did also hear, that just reminded me of something, Darren Mooney again from Second Wind.
Yeah.
He referenced thing, tell me if I'm wrong here. He's talking about, it was filmed on IMAX or something, and in the submarine, there's a moment where Tom Cruise turns something, and that's the moment where they change into IMAX or something. So if you were watching it at IMAX, you'd be seeing it change from regular into IMAX.
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah, the aspect ratio has changed.
Yeah. You remember that was he opening a hatch or something?
Yeah, there's lots of, and it's a well-filmed scene. I think it's inherently flawed as a concept because, like, Inception did something similar, and they did it by having a rotating stage.
Oh, that's right. It's been so long since I've seen. I saw that once on the big screen. Haven't thought of it since.
Oh, that's the perfect way to see Inception is once.
Yes, like about half of Christopher Nolan's films.
Yeah, they don't hold up on rewatch because they're all exposition.
Yeah.
But I think it's a good idea for a stunt. It just doesn't. It's the opposite of the Burj Khalifa, where what made the Burj Khalifa run so spectacular was that you could see the scenery. You could see this was shot on location and how.
Still one of my favourite scenes.
That's incredible. And I think that's the thing is that Mission Impossible movies are basically they're Buster Keaton movies, where it is
that's fantastic.
It is just about how amazing this stunt is, and it's like it's the magic of cinema.
Yeah,
it's a magic trick. This is what we can do with cameras on location, given editing,
but not on a soundstage. More importantly, and there is real danger here. I mean, I still cringe just even thinking about that scene. But I love it when he crashes in and then Simon Pegg comes in. He's like, "Oh, that was intense."
Yeah.
Oh, what did I miss?
And it's because it's Brad Bird as well. He's so good at making sure the hero can fail.
Yeah.
And the way like Tom Cruise bangs his head on the glass and like all the stuff is glitching out and it's. But the most recent Mission Impossible has none, and there's so much flab. It does get to a very good set piece at the end with the biplane chase, I want to call it. But by that point, you're 2 and a bit hours into a movie, and it's deflated. So what you're saying is wait for the fan edit when they put these two together. I think if you put these two movies together, you would need to rewrite and edit it because, as I said, the AI plot goes nowhere. The villain is he's treated as a joke in the second movie. He becomes a comic relief almost. But there is a really solid movie, a solid action movie to be made in the last 2 Mission Impossible movies. Split into 2, they are both bloated corpses. I sympathise. I don't know why I stopped watching. I really like the Mission Impossible series. The first one is one of my favourites. Yeah.
Because of the simplicity, but I also equally love the big spectacle.
Yeah.
Because you can like two separate things at the same time.
Yeah.
I don't know why I opted out. And I even saw them on Netflix, and I knew the new one was coming, and I saw it was like 2 hours 40 minutes part one, and I just went, can't be bothered.
Don't do that. But you should definitely watch Fallout.
Yeah. Okay.
There's got a fight scene. Henry Cavill has to recharge his arms by like throwing his sockets out.
Okay.
And he's got a good mustache in it. But
is that why he had when he looks
yes,
as Superman? That was the movie.
That was the movie.
I just know it as because I remember seeing the
reshoot.
reshoot.
Ruined
Yeah, because otherwise the movie was fine. It was just the moustache.
But the free fall over Paris is it's not as good as the Burj Khalifa, but it's close. Like Tom Cruise jumping out of a military jet over Paris, and the camera follows him down.
So from the pile of the proverbial, we get a recommendation from a previous installment.
Yeah, don't watch either of the most recent Mission Impossible movies, but the 3 previous to that, Ghost Protocol, Rogue Nation, and Fallout, are all better than any of the Daniel Craig James Bond movies.
Yeah, we might talk Bond one day. There's things to like in the Daniel Craig movies, but not hard to topple them, I think.
Yeah.
But the point is they go well beyond.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting. Now, 2 out of 3.
What was your most disappointing movie of the year?
Okay, so I'm going to split this a little bit because, like Weapons, there was a close second contender.
Yeah.
And I could almost flip a coin between the two. So I'm going to try and... I'm cheating and I've got 2 answers, but I'm going to try and...
You can have tied for first.
Yeah, well, there is a difference, and I'll tell you why when I get to the end.
Yeah.
But a late comer.
Okay.
Frankenstein.
Yeah, right. Okay.
By
Guillermo del Toro.
And I definitely don't want to go too much because Sam and I just yet to be published as we speak. But before this comes out, there'll be an episode. But I just want to mention briefly why it's a disappointment. Because, so first of all, looks stunning, very visually, very, very strong film.
Yep.
There are parts of this movie that are very good, so I just want to put that out there before I put my cranky pants on.
Yeah.
If you come at this as somebody who has read the book and seen a lot of Frankenstein films, this is not you changed stuff from the book, I'm unhappy comment, because I hate those comments.
It's a pretty faithful...
It is still pretty faithful.
Yeah.
And I implore people, please change the books that you should.
Yeah.
Generally speaking, do that. So there's a lot of positive things, but if you've seen a lot, then I think you'll naturally compare, and that's where Sam and I had the problem.
Yeah.
If you come in, I mean, everyone knows Frankenstein, but if you haven't read the book and seen 5 different versions, you're only going through pop culture osmosis.
Yeah.
And I think you'll see it more favourably. So just putting that as a preface
to my comments. I think that's very fair.
Yeah. So here's a couple of things. I thought the characterization was poor, not as in I didn't understand the characters, but I didn't care about the characters, and that's a problem.
I largely agree with you.
Yeah, the monster is, of course, sympathetic and well played.
Yeah, I think that's the exception.
Yeah, the actor's great, the makeup is phenomenal, the direction of him is great, no qualms here.
Yeah.
The fact that no one else was relatable, when you see one character dying and saying farewell to another character and I'm saying I don't care, you've got a problem.
Yeah, I think Mia Goth was... Like, she's good in other stuff.
She's very good in other stuff. And I think she was told early on, this is how you should play it, or as her instincts, and I think it just didn't fit at all.
No, she was playing it like it was a very reserved Victorian stage play where she didn't have a lot of emotion on display, and so when she starts showing affection to the creature and like they're soulmates and I never thought I'd see you, and I was like, there was none of this when you two were together earlier.
Yep, it didn't work. The characters, generally speaking, didn't work for me at all. And then when I just referred to what was it, injustice, don't say the thing out loud.
Yeah.
When Frankenstein's brother says to him, Victor, you are the monster.
You are the monster.
I just went, my God. I actually out loud said, what?
Yeah.
Don't say the thing.
Don't let your subtext be text.
Yeah. There was a quick reference. There was an example. I think it was Simon Pegg was in it, in The Search for Happiness or something. I could be misremembering the title.
Yeah.
He has a midlife crisis. He goes around the world trying to find the secret of happiness. And he gets to the end, and this fella plugs him up to a machine. It's all very contrived. He's like, oh, if you put this in, then your brain will glow red. And if you do this, it'll glow blue. That's not how scans work. Whatever, for the movie.
Yeah.
But then he gets it in balance. And you go, oh, that's the point of the movie, that you need to have balance to be happy. And you go, but then the professor who's doing the thing says, you're blue, you've reached equilibrium, you've reached equal balance. And then I go, oh, that's the point. And then he actually says, that's the point. That's an actual line of dialogue in the movie. And I went, what?
Yeah.
That's stupid, and that is terrible writing.
Yeah.
And it was in this film that looked great, and there is a lot of good writing in this film, and it's Guillermo del Toro, and I just went, what are you doing?
And I think that's, like, I think I enjoyed it more than you did, which is odd to me because I watched it over 2 sittings.
It should have been my film, yeah.
And I came away from the first half thinking, oh, this sucks. This is such a slog. I really like Oscar Isaac, and I thought he was being so... I didn't know what he was doing. It was like it reminded me so much of Prince in Purple Rain, his performance. He is just so horny and full of himself in this movie, which is... That's not out of character for Victor Frankenstein, but the way he was, like the scene in the church where he pretends to be that is like he smooths down his mustache first, like, oh, there's a fine filly, I'll see how I can go about this. It's so lecherous, which, the first half is, I would say, bad, but the second half, then I fell in love with them, and I think I enjoy it more than you. But I really liked Jacob Elordi's Creature.
Yes.
But I do think what's frustrating about this is that we have seen a movie very recently from Guillermo del Toro where he was able to create sexual tension between a monster and a human woman. We have also seen movies from Guillermo del Toro, many, where he has been able to make it subtly apparent that the human characters are the monsters and the monster is more human.
That's a really good way. It lacked subtlety. And Sam's point, which I agreed with, is that Frankenstein was the antagonist almost from the get-go, apart from the prologue where you see him growing up.
Yeah.
He is the antagonist, and he's, as you say, lecherous and unpleasant. And sorry, listeners, this is a repeat, but I want to throw this at you. My contention to Sam was this. You've got 2 parts, literally. Part 1, part 2.
Yeah.
What's the point of that? Unfortunately, a plot contrivance because, well, we're only learning because the story's being told to this boat captain. That's fine. That's also from the book, no problem. So we have the perspective of the monster simply because Victor doesn't know stuff and the audience needs to hear it. How about this? What if, by the time you get to the end of part 1, you, the audience, are thinking, the monster is terrifying, I'm afraid of what he's going to do, and Victor's an unfortunate victim. And then the monster turns up and says, no, now you need to hear my side, and we realise it's actually been partially unreliable narrator.
Yeah.
And that way we go, oh, now there's a turn. And when you get there's a heavy theme of Christian forgiveness put into this film, and when you get that forgiveness at the end, it would have been way more powerful because you would have realised actually only at the end do you realise Victor was actually a bit of a tool, but the monster still forgives him.
Yeah.
But instead you've been hammered for 2.5 hours that Victor's a tool, and then have the forgiveness.
I functionally do not understand why it's split in 2. I understand why it is because you've got 2 narrators.
Yep.
But they're not giving their impression of events. They are. It's fact.
Yeah, it's a
presented,
contrivance.
and chronologically, there's no overlap. The story of Frankenstein picks up exactly where... Sorry, the story of the creature picks up exactly where the story of Frankenstein ends.
Yeah.
And so I don't get it.
Yep.
Other than it means that we're not following Victor anymore, we're following the creature.
Yeah, but there was... I did mention it in the Sand podcast, but there was a very faithful TV adaptation, a hallmark of all things. And all it did, it had the same thing. It had Victor talking to the captain, so it's getting the story. But every time you needed stuff from the creature, it just cut away to the creature, and it's fine. It wasn't a problem. So it feels like you're fixing a problem that didn't exist, and you could have used it to do that thing I just said, which would have made it more interesting. Because if you're going to do it, then do something useful about it, thematic, or blindside the audience a little bit. And it's completely irrelevant. It does nothing. And some people have thrown the word masterpiece around for this. I completely understand why people like this.
I like it.
Yeah.
But if you think this is better than... It would not be in my top 5 Guillermo del Toro movies, probably. Pacific Rim is a better movie than this.
This is more interesting, and there's more depth and layers to it. But it's not a very well executed film. I went in expecting probably too much.
Yeah.
But then again, it's Guillermo del Toro doing Frankenstein.
Yeah, it was a match made. Like, he did something so close to this already in Crimson Peak, and that was so much better than this.
Yeah.
It's frustrating, and also he had on paper such a great cast. I think Oscar Isaac, given the right direction, would have been great in that role.
Yeah.
Elordi is phenomenal. No Notes, that's a great Frankenstein. I don't know about Mia Goth, but whatever. Yeah, on paper, all the ingredients were there.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So Colour Me very disappointed. But the reason why it's not my actual choice is because I'd still go, I could still recommend that, and I can still... My actual choice, recommend to nobody, Wolfman.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Did you see that?
No, I didn't. I heard about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wolfman, for context, is one of my favourite films because, I love the old movies. Starring Lon Chaney Jr., and you got Claude Rains as his father. Claude Rains is a fantastic actor. 2 years later, he played the Phantom in the Universal's Colour remake. Yeah. He was also the Invisible Man. Incredible stage presence, given that you're playing an Invisible Man and you still have the presence. Fantastic actor. It's such... I just recently rewatched it. Such a good movie because I am doing it for my next series of the 1940s, one flick at a time. Nice. Stay tuned for coming in 2026, and spoiler, it will be my 1941 episode. So I was thinking, this would be great. And Lee Winnell was going to be the director, who of course did The Invisible Man very well.
Yeah, he's a good talent.
He's a good director. I can't help but think of him. I'm sort of a 90s kid, so him being on Recovery, I always there's a deep cut.
Love Recovery.
There's a deep cut for if you're under 35 or not Australian, you'd have no idea what we're talking about. That's fine.
That's a shame. Your life is worse for it.
Yeah.
Recovery was a staple of growing up. Like the Saturday morning rage into Recovery run.
Yep.
That's how you learn about the world.
Absolutely. And he was the film guru, and he, of course, went on with James Wan, and they made Saw, and the rest is history.
Yeah.
And I'll be very brief here because it's just a forgettable film. So, again, Julia Garner was in it.
Yeah.
And that's the first time I saw her. I think she's my new favourite actor. She is fantastic. I don't know why. I really don't know why. I'm really drawn to her performances in both this and Weapons.
She was also she was a Silver Surfer in the Fantastic Four movie this year.
That.
Which that would be my second most disappointing movie of the year.
Oh, well, there you go.
Yeah.
Haven't seen it. Not interested.
Yeah, trust those instincts.
Okay. But Julia Garner is, for reasons I can't yet articulate, I find her mesmerizing.
Yeah.
Not in a sexual or attractive way. I'm talking purely performance here. I mean, I'm sure there's a monkey brain thing going on there. But, but as far as understanding and appreciating...
She's interesting looking as well. Yeah. She's not like... Yeah.
Yeah, she's not traditional Hollywood...
she's not Sydney Sweeney or whoever the current sacrifice that Hollywood is doing is.
Yeah, that's right. But she's also very, very good. She's been very believable. She plays a sympathetic wife to our main character here, whereas in Weapons she's not particularly sympathetic. Oh, well, a little bit, but mixed. She's mixed.
Yeah,
she's
like all the characters in Weapons.
Yeah. That was a better way of saying it. So she's fantastic. The cast is great.
I liked the trailer. Made it seem like a very interesting take on the Wolfman.
Yeah, it's not.
Oh.
It's absolutely not. So what do you do? So the original Wolfman was about the duality of man and your killer instincts and so on, not being able to control them. And it's all very sympathetic. Lon Chaney Jr., it's his best performance by far. Not that he was the greatest actor, but it was a very good performance. So what are you going to do with it? The Invisible Man remake, of course, was about abusive relationships, domestic violence, and all that sort of stuff.
Which that's a good take on that. Yeah, that's a good movie.
grab that and jam that into this old premise and modernize it. Great.
Yeah.
The Wolfman just goes, it's about familial relationships, father, child. It's like, well, they did that already with the last version with, what's his name, Benicio del Toro.
Yeah.
And it was mediocre.
Yep.
So you're doing the same thing again. That's a problem. You modernize it, which is irrelevant. The modern setting adds nothing to it. They have one thing that really annoys me about it is they do the modern thing where it's all very dark. So the visual effects are filmed probably with low but measurable light, and they just tone it all down. It's hard to see, so it looks ugly.
Yeah, it did look like a dark movie in there.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I don't know why modern movies are doing this because, in the days pre-digital grading, you know what you did? You just put a light on the actor and people understood when they're staggering around in the dark, they understood that they can't see and it was fine.
Yeah.
I don't know why modern movies need to do this. Stop uglifying your movies. But generally speaking, it's just forgettable. I'll just mention a couple positives because they're interesting.
Yeah.
So the transformation to the Wolfman is pretty good.
Okay.
There is a scene where he is going, what's that noise? Pitter patter, pitter patter. Something's in the house. Oh no! He searches around and he finds that up inside a cupboard on the top floor is a spider. And you realise that he now has advanced hearing.
Ah.
Interesting and very well executed.
Yeah,
it was
I like
a really
that.
tense scene.
That's a clever idea.
Pretty good. And a thing I'll simply call a point of view shift where, for example, you've got Julia Garner, you've got mother and child in a dark room and he, as the Wolfman, is there, but you can't see him. And then the camera is basically behind her, does a 180, and as it gets to about 90 degrees around, it switches so he can see something like ultraviolet light or something because he's part animal. So the view actually changes as the camera moves and it switches to him and we see it from his point of view. When it goes back the other way, you can see he's talking in English, but when it gets back to her point of view, it's just growls. So you realise that he's not speaking in English anymore.
Yeah.
Really interesting, really well executed.
I like that too.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
So you have about 45 seconds of good filmmaking in 90 minutes.
That's probably not enough.
They're slightly below the bare minimum.
How long is this movie?
90 minutes.
And
So it's digestible. The thing is, Frankenstein will, I don't think, be well regarded as a Frankenstein adaptation or as in Del Toro's filmography, but people are still going to talk about it, and there's things to talk about. Wolfman is already forgotten. It came out about 5 months ago, and it's already done. Yeah. It's gone. I yippied when I saw it and clicked on it as fast as I could, not thinking it'd be a masterpiece, but I thought, oh, great. Again, love Wolfman. Just disappointing, forgettable.
That is interesting that your two most disappointing movies of the year are like updates of the classic Universal horror monster things.
It's my jam.
Yeah. I mean, your expectations were very high for them. But you're not wrong in that. I mean, my expectations for Frankenstein were based on it being Del Toro.
Sure.
And I have no expectation related to the Wolfman. But I can, as a person living in the world, I can attest. Yeah. People aren't talking about it.
Yeah.
It fell off the radar very quickly.
Very quickly. I mean, my expectation was still modest relative to Frankenstein. I was expecting Frankenstein to be really good, and instead it was parts of it were really good and parts of it were bad, and it averages out to be okay.
Yeah.
Whereas Wolfman, I was expecting this should be good but not great because Lee's directing. Yeah. It should be good, but I don't expect it to be great, but it was just bland. It's watchable. It's not even terrible, but it just fell out of my brain as soon as I watched it. And for a fan of the Wolfman and Lee Whannell's work, that's not good.
That's a shame. Yeah, I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, so I thought we might wrap up by looking ahead. Is there anything in 2026 you're looking forward to? I haven't done a lot of research as to what's coming out. Just wondering if there's anything on your top of your head. There's only two I can even think of.
You tell me yours first, because I can't think of anything at the moment.
I'm curious. Christopher Nolan's got a little film about a small adventure. The Odyssey's coming out. That was sarcastic because the Odyssey was actually a big journey. I don't know what to think about it because on the one hand, I don't know if it's a good fit for Christopher Nolan, but I'm curious.
Can I tell you my controversial take? I know I say it's controversial. To me, it makes all the sense in the world, and I think if anybody who's studied the numbers would agree.
Sure.
Christopher Nolan's not a good science fiction director, but he is great at historical fiction.
counter. No, not counter. No, sorry, just an alternative view. Okay, this is being facetious. He's the Nicolas Cage. You remember?
What does that mean?
Really good movie, really bad movie. Really good, really bad. No, I'm exaggerating, obviously.
Yeah.
He's hit and miss, is what I'm saying.
I agree with you completely.
Some of the Christopher Nolan films are fantastic.
But which one? Because this is the difference, I think. Which ones do you think are fantastic?
Or The Dark Knight.
Yeah, Dark Knight's good.
I mean, the Dark Knight trilogy generally is good, but The Dark Knight is fantastic.
I think The Dark Knight Rises is a bad movie.
I think it has parts of it that are very good.
Yeah.
And it's the Return of the Jedi of the series.
I think that's being very generous. If we were doing strike rates, it'd be below a 5 for me.
Yeah, it'd be above for me, but it's not great. It's obviously the weakest of the trilogy.
Yeah. But I think his non-Batman movies are the test of where people are going to fall on this.
Yeah. So, I mean, I haven't seen Dunkirk. Oppenheimer is fantastic.
Dunkirk is a simpler, smaller movie than Oppenheimer, but it is really, really good. It is a very well done. And that's part of it. The Prestige is one of his best movies, which is that's a magician movie, but it's historical fiction. It's an adaptation of a short story. Dunkirk is a very good movie. Yeah, see,
I haven't seen a lot of the historical fiction ones. That's probably why I balked on your... So you'd probably be right. Yes, I just need to see more.
Oppenheimer is his best movie.
It is so good.
And it's a very, very good movie. His non-historical fiction movies, working backwards, Tenet is impenetrable garbage.
Yeah, it's overcooked.
That's a movie you need to... And I love Primer, like the time travel movie. I'm not opposed to a time travel movie where you need to think and rewatch and do some research. Tenet's not that.
Tenet here's the way I put it, is, you got Star Wars for people who love the emotional journey, and Star Trek is for, I mean, talking old Star Trek, is like for the engineering nerds that want a story.
Yeah.
And Tenet goes way too hard into the engineers were like this,
but it doesn't hold up. So if you go through the turnstile, that means that like atrophy is reversed and all this sort of stuff, and fire is cold now. What does that mean for human body temperature? What does that mean for human absorption of oxygen in the lungs?
Parts of it are overcooked and other parts
are totally undercooked.
But it's hand wavy. No, it's fine. You know, it's not good. What's the one before?
Interstellar is his best science fiction movie.
Yeah, I quite like Interstellar, but I should add the caveat that there is something deeply primal inside me about the vastness of space.
Yep.
And just the scene alone where he's basically driving into a black hole is the reason why I will rewatch that movie probably every year for the rest of my life. There's something very, very specific about that. So that's an important caveat. But
it's a good movie.
Yeah.
The stuff with the wardrobe and all that sort of stuff, he can't get those concepts.
Yeah.
He can't carry that stuff to an audience.
Yeah.
And I think it's because he bakes his science fiction so heavily in science. When it's time to get people to make a leap of faith and suspend disbelief, they're not ready to do it because they're like, no, you've been showing me numbers and charts this whole time. Where's your chart for this?
So if you're saying that the historical fiction is his strength, what is it? How does that work with the Odyssey?
That's it.
This is where I'm going.
This is a big question mark, because the Odyssey is historical fiction, but it's got monsters. And
I'm really curious. I think off Second Wind, a lot of Second Wind references. Jack Packard made the joke about, is he going to give us a half-hour complex detail as to how the Cyclops can exist or something?
Yeah,
as he said facetiously.
I'm on board for it.
I'm going in expecting to not particularly enjoy it.
Yeah,
but I'm really curious. That's so. If it's great, then I'll be pleasantly surprised. Yeah. The other one I'm definitely interested in. I think it's due at the end of the year, June Part 3 or whatever. They're going to call
June.
It.
Yeah,
is it June Messiah? They're going to call it. I can't remember.
I guess I'm curious about that. I'd be amazed if it makes that release date. Have they started filming it?
Oh, I haven't kept up, so I'll wait and see. But conversation for another day. But I'm a massive Dune fan, and his first two parts were on balance good, and I'll just leave it at that. Because I want to fill an entire podcast talking about them at another date. So that's the two that I'm my fingers on the pulse for.
I guess I've been thinking lately about brothers making movies together.
Oh yes.
And like how often that seems to happen. And interestingly, you got I think it's the Duffer brothers who do Stranger Things, and they seem incapable or uninterested in breaking into cinema. That's their business. I'm forgetting their name now. The brothers who have done the Avengers movies, the Russo brothers.
Oh, okay.
They are returning to Marvel next year with, I think it's next year, with the Avengers Doomsday. I think they're not good. I think they're not good directors. They've tried to make movies on Netflix, and those movies have been bad.
So you're looking forward to the train wreck?
I'm looking forward to seeing how that pans out, because they're taking some big swings. They've brought the Russo brothers back as though they're superstars of directing with name recognition. They're not. Robert Downey Jr. is back.
It stings of desperation.
It does. It's so sweaty. And I think that's... Yeah. But the Safdie brothers, I really like them. And one of the Safdie brothers has a movie coming out, I think it's late this year, called Marty Supreme.
Okay.
And I'm an enormous fan of their work together. They've released separate movies in the last couple of months. I think it was Benny Safdie released Smashing Machine, which had Dwayne The Rock Johnson in it. Didn't review particularly well, didn't perform well at all. But I think the other Safdie is directed Marty Supreme, soundtrack by One O Tricks Point Never, who's this like archival music collage artist who I adore. But Timothée Chalamet playing a ping pong prodigy in, I think, early 20th century America. It looks phenomenal.
There are so many words you said just now. That was such a combination.
It's like listening to grade 7. It's like 6, 7, skibbity riz.
So Paul Atreides is playing ping pong. What?
Okay, but the Safdie brothers are so good at they channel early Martin Scorsese energy very, very well. That sort of tension and grittiness and sweatiness.
Interesting.
So
I like early Scorsese.
Yeah, so I think that movie's going to be very, very good, and we don't need to wait long to see it. And then I think Avengers Doomsday is going to be a wet poo in a warm bed, and I can't wait to see what happens then too, because I think that's going to be like, I think that's when Marvel's going to be like, we're pulling the plug on this, we're starting again because what we're doing has not worked for a while.
But they'll still follow through because they'll still make $1 billion.
Maybe.
But it won't be $2 billion.
It won't make as many billions as they want.
No.
Yeah.
Well, there's no such thing as much as they want.
Yeah.
Right. Well, there we go. Summing up 2025, I'm going to say it was a pretty good year. And the fact that you had, if you count Nosferatu, Weapons, Sinners, and although I didn't get to see it 28 years later, which apparently was very good.
Yeah, that was a good movie.
Great year for horror, and Frankenstein, mixed as it was, and it's horror-ish, and it's a mix of a few things. And so it's nice to see horror back. Filmmaking in general is good. I don't have too many I can't wait to see that moments for next year as I do for this year, but nevertheless, it's generally pretty good.
It's interesting. Like, Sinners and Weapons are both Warner Brothers. I think Weapons is. I'm pretty sure it is.
Yeah, I forgot.
Warner Brothers had a great year in terms of delivering movies.
Boy, they needed it.
They're still losing money. I don't know how the movie industry works.
Tax havens and legalized fraud, basically.
I think that's my takeaway from 2025 is that like we're getting really good movies. They're not on streaming services. The industry is still like on fire.
Yeah. No, it's chaos and no one knows what's going on.
We can dance in the ruins.
Yeah. Netflix is happy. They're happy to see it burn. They're fine.
Yeah, sure.
For now.
Sure. Yeah.
I mean, they're still pumping.
What's their post Stranger Things plan? Who knows?
Yeah, they're at the moment they're printing money.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's very interesting times. We'll see what happens. This might be our potentially last recording for Series 1 bonus asterisk whatever.
Special deluxe edition.
Yeah. But also 2025 in general. Nate, you've been an absolute stalwart of the podcast this year.
Thank you for tolerating my repeated presence. I've enjoyed it.
I have too, and I thoroughly look forward to 2026. We've got a lot more coming up, and definitely Series 2 will be back at some point.
Can I come back for some Series 2 ones?
I hope you do. I've got plenty of ideas, and I've got ideas for a few recurring guests, so there'll be some familiar voices, but hopefully some newbies as well. So we'll see what happens. So once again, Nate, thank you very much.
Thank you very much for having me.